the recording, and my cat is joining us this evening. Good evening, everyone. It is week 3 of making sales via social media. I'm so excited to be with you all. And my life, my exercise workout behind me, which is not my norm, but you know what? There you go. That's transparency. So if there is noise in the background, just let me know. I've put the air conditioner up a little bit higher so we don't go through Lindsay sweating tonight, which I think will be helpful. And I'm excited about tonight's class. We have some really, really, really good content. So let's start first by doing what we always do, which is closing our eyes and breathing for a moment and just allowing ourselves to get really centered. Just really relax into knowing that you don't need to know the answers, which is not the norm for entrepreneurs. And we've talked about sales goals. What I really want you to sink into tonight is, what was your goal in coming to the class? And not just this evening's class, but in general. When you signed up for the class, what was it that you wanted or needed? And one of the skills that I hope to teach during the class that you will receive is having a singleness of purpose, getting really clear on what it is you mean to create, and not accepting any no's in terms of getting to that goal. And of course, you know, it needs to be a goal for good, I would ask. I prefer you not use your social media powers for evil. And I think that, you know, this is based on all the other things that we've talked about. It needs to be in touch with your passion. It needs to be in touch with your purpose. But really allow yourself to be in that tonight, and know that people receive at all sorts of different times during this class the exact thing they need to really change their business. So I really want you to be open to that. And I just also really, this is like separate homework, meditation homework, but become aware of any time that your answer is no. Become aware of any time when you're in fear. Become aware of any time when you're certain that your needs won't be met. And if you look in those places, I think that most often those are where we find our blocks. So even start to cultivate an awareness tonight during the show. If something is, if you're having just a really strong body response of no, or I'm not understanding this, or this is not the answer to the question I need, I just want you to be aware of it and jot it down. And you all have been gifted with our Q&A this Thursday evening as well, and so that's going to be a great place to bring that. But rather than being stuck in the block, just start to be a detective of it. Because unraveling those pieces, honestly, are the things that are going to completely change your mindset and your life. So if you have any tension like I do, just exhale and let it go. Be present for the class. It's like, this is the way that we get the teacher unstressed so she can deliver great content. No. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. So I'm hyped about tonight's class. It's interesting because I was feeling these same feelings that I had felt last time I taught the class, and I was like, what is going on with me? And so I spent an hour listening to the last session's class that was this week, and I went, wow, I'm having the same feelings that I had last time during this class. And so it starts to let me see that there's a pattern, which is really important, because then I'm fascinated by patterns, and I think there's solutions there. And so I'm going to grab my copy of my notes for tonight, because it is content rich and I want to make sure to get all of it to you. But the first thing that I really want to talk about is, so I took a look at the forum and have been watching your all's social media and been holding myself back a little bit from commenting on different things to see the level of interaction that you all would have with one another. And this is what is crucial for you to know. That the exact way that you are behaving in the forum is the exact way that you are behaving in social media. The exact way that you're handling things in the forum is probably the exact way that you're handling things with clients. And I bet your business is really reflective of what's going on there. So You're not alone. Last time we did this class, this week also was the week where I was like, why isn't anyone interacting in the forum? I told them, lean on each other, use each other as resources. And here we are at the same place. And, you know, part of it is me just being so excited and committed to your growth and your success that I'm like, oh, come on, please be, you know, posting posts that you need help with, asking people to post other things. And I also understand that there's a warming up period that you all have with one another. And I do think that one of the homework assignments that I'm going to give you this week will definitively get you to the point where you will start interacting, because you'll need other people, which is great. And the other thing I would just ask you all to check in with, and I have to say, this is a great example of a lot of things. First off, I sing the praises of anyone who is really meaningful to me. So Kirk Prine and Donnie Lowry, Prine, P-R-N-E, friend them on Facebook, follow their stuff, join their newsletter, get their 5 free videos. I just spent a weekend doing, they find stories in your body, and then they relate it to how it's relating in your business. So they're fabulous. Second of all, the next hint would be, anyone who connects with me in social media, I'm going to start talking about you. So even if it's too scary to connect on the forum, and know that I cannot all the time respond at length to everyone in social media, because I have a company to run as well as doing my own social media, but start talking to me on my page. Start asking me questions that you have from the class. Start running things by me. Because you will instantaneously get 10,000 eyes on you once you start interacting with me in social media. So I would give that as a strong suggestion. Additionally, my fiance has left the house, so the cat's unhappy. It's okay, kids. You're all right. You're all right. When I used to love Coach, the times that people would need it the most, he would come around. So perhaps he's coming to give love and affection to you all. And so what I'd like us all to do is just for a moment, which is somewhat reflective of this weekend, check in with yourself. And I can feel it in my belly. But where are you hiding? When I look at my target market, which is you all, and this week the topic we're talking about is how you create products and how you sell and how you price and how you package and all of those things in community with your target market so that you can make a lot of money. I love, Michelle put a post up in the forum today that was really transparent about a launch that didn't go well, and I applaud that so strongly, because it allows me an in to her. Then I can go, oh my gosh, I don't want her to have that experience. I'm going to comment on her comments. I'm going to post on her posts, so I would really recommend the littler amount of hiding you can do, the better. But I would say in my target market, what I find consistently with people that work with me is that there is some level of fear that shows up as hiding. And that's why it's a little bit scary and a little bit hard to deal with social media. So if you quit listening after I say the next thing, that's okay too. But what I would say is check in with yourself, see if it resonates, either in a positive or a negative, just in a strong way. Where are you hiding? And that can be, I used to work in retail and I loved being in the back room, buttoning buttons on suits. Or some days I did not want to be near customers at all. So definitively there were places that I would hide from customers. In social media sometimes folks can. But I'd welcome, I see that a number of people are not actually signed on to the class. So if you have guest status, please, please, please create an account in the upper right hand corner so that you can jump on the chat too. Those of you who are in the chat already, go for it if you want to say where you're hiding. Because I think what we're going to find here, first of all, is a real connection with one another. It's no accident that I want to hide sometimes, that you all have come to me, and that you want to hide sometimes. But this is the week to really change that. We've started with talking about a sales goal. We've talked about where to find your target market. And now you're really going to start being leaders and be out there and really get... I love it. Beth says behind ignorance. That's freaking brilliant. Freaking brilliant. So anytime that comes up and you go, wow, I just don't know this, just for a moment go, okay, so if I weren't hiding, what would I do right now? Behind rejection, fabulous answer. Like, these are the things, and you know what, I'm even gonna, and I love, this is always what the third week is for me. It's the, I want you to succeed so bad, and why aren't you all playing with each other? Why aren't you posting more things? Why aren't you interacting in the forum? And part of it too, I think, is just, you know, like, sort of figuring this stuff out. But first of all, let me tell you a couple of things. That forum is private. It's for you all. Only people who are related to the class can get into the forum, so you can say anything. The people who have been the most transparent during the class and during their work with me are the people who I see come the farthest. So I've had people say things like they have no money for their business, that they've totally taken out lots of loans, that even their husband, like on and on and on, a bunch of different things. And so know that, first of all, that's a really safe place to be transparent. Second of all, what is required of you in social media? Susan and I had a session last night, and it was just so interesting for me to reflect on, and I really want you all to understand that what is required in this day and age for you to really succeed, I just find it to be true. If you are a one-person show and you really want to kick your game into the, you know, like as far and as big as it can be, you need to share your soul. You need to share your passion. So I'm going to give a couple of quick, basic kind of tips. We're going to jump into some stuff about connecting with your target market and figuring out what to sell, how to sell it, and all of those things. But really foundational to all of this, and really, really key. And I do see progress. Please know, I look at your posts and I see certain things that are being applied, and it could not delight me more. And I see people's friends' numbers going up, and I love that also. But one of the things that is really, really, really key to know is that whoever your target market is someone who needs you. And I get the rejection. I get all of those various things that are coming up for people in terms of fear. And here's what's important to know is I have 5,000 friends almost. How many people are actually even watching my feed? I will tell you, I work in social media, so probably the majority of the people from high school and that I knew from college have all blocked my feed at this point because they're not that interested in social media. And I'm speaking in real generalities. But the deal is, you've got to recall, like, who is the face of the person that you want to connect with. When I was in acting school, they'd say, make the camera, and this is a great tip for video also, which is a tip about our homework that's coming up for tonight. But they'd say, make the camera your friend. So who is the easiest person for you to speak to? I would either make it my puppy or I'd make it my little sister. And so when I'd start talking to it, I'd be like I was talking to my puppy, and I love my puppy so much. And my whole way of being changed. So if I were writing my posts to my puppy every day, that would be definitively different than if I sit behind my computer and I go, oh, people are going to make fun of me. No one's going to like me. I'm freaking out over business finance. Instead, what you want to do is it's this beautiful platform that you can use to connect to the folks who need you. So if you do not have the picture of the person that you have transformed the most stuck on your computer, you need to do that this week, because that's going to help you tremendously. Additionally, Facebook, post only one time a day. Post a sentence and a half at the most when people are starting to get to know you. Post in the morning, and if by mid-afternoon not a single person has liked it or said anything else, feel free to take it down and post a different post. But you don't want to post repeatedly during the day. You need to start to get traction, and there are just some key basic things that you need to know in terms of the way that other people are experiencing you. It's like if you were, Ali Sheedy getting transformed in the Breakfast Club and having your makeover. When she walks out into the room and she's gone from this really reclusive girl to this beautiful, really pretty girl, someone looks at her like she's pretty and she like doesn't know what to do. And that's, I think, how this occurs for a lot of us. So what needs to happen is you need to give people time to warm up to you, to not overwhelm them, And in this day and age with short attention spans, it's why I have you do the things in 3 words. This will not always be what I recommended for you in social media, but it's like you've just gotten to the cocktail party and you want to meet everyone there. It's important. It's like you're running for political office. You want to say hello to everyone who's there. You don't want to overwhelm someone with lots and lots of content. You don't want to say hi to them 3 times in one night. So once a day on Facebook, in the morning, I find to be a really great time to get posting, and not much more than a sentence and a half. Twitter, whole other thing, and I'm realizing that Twitter becomes sort of like the bane of existence for a lot of people, so perhaps we will focus in the Q&A, which is the bonus on Thursday night, with some more on Twitter. Just a couple other little tips I'll throw out there. LinkedIn. What you want to do is find people who will give you great recommendations. You can request recommendations from people who are your friends on LinkedIn. I would say for the majority of you, the people that are finding you on LinkedIn are simply searching out what other people have said about you. So you want to have like 4 people who have loved what you do on LinkedIn. And then also on LinkedIn, you can connect LinkedIn with Twitter. I would recommend you do that as well, so that your posts from Twitter are automatically going on to LinkedIn. And we will talk about doing the link between Facebook and Twitter in Thursday's Q&A. So next, and I see questions brewing, and I love questions, and I will also let you know that we're going to do the Q&A on Thursday. I've got so much content tonight, so if it is really potent about not understanding the content for tonight, throw it up there, but otherwise I'm going to ask you to save your questions for Thursday for the Q&A. Okay, so we figured out where we're hiding, the easy way to stop hiding. This is just the easy way. It's like I was telling a sales coaching client of mine, the deal is that it's not that you're going to not be afraid. You're going to be afraid and you're going to do it anyway. So it's not, if you expect to be magically struck like unafraid of social media, I will tell you it will never happen. It still happens for me every day. You should see what I go through. I don't just bang out. I know what works and what doesn't work, and there are some days when like I rewrite my post 3 times because I can't like get into the space where it actually is authentically me delivering what's authentically needed by my target market. So I also just want to throw in a little plea for imperfect action. I know you have a lot to do from the first couple of weeks of the class in terms of finding your target market, finding a mastermind partner, etc. This is not an all or nothing proposition. If you find a mastermind partner that you mastermind with once for a half hour, once a month during this class, that's much better than going, oh, I've got to do this perfectly, so I'm just not doing it at all. Plenty of people in the class still do not have mastermind partners. You can put it on their Facebook page. Like, here's the deal. There's this sense a lot of times that we have to keep things quiet, but if you're on someone else's Facebook page, in the welcome, you've got everyone's links to this class. See who you like, see who you resonate with, look at their page, put something up there and be like, would you like to be mastermind partners for Lindsay's class? First of all, if you are doing a mastermind partnership with someone, people are going to think you're cool. They just think that it's like an advanced, groovy, entrepreneurial kind of thing to do. Second of all, the two of you get to strike up a conversation there. You get exposure to their audience, they get exposure to your audience. Like, that's an easy way to get this started. But really know that this is what I find all the time. So people will be like, oh, I haven't posted on Facebook today. Oh, it's been 7 days. I haven't. Oh, it's been 14 days. It's just too hard. That's not true. None of that is true. And I will tell you, social media is forgiving. Sales are forgiving. You can blow stuff. The customers that I've had the worst experiences with, when I've made it right, when I've really listened, even if they were nuts, and I've really listened to what they needed and really been present, even if I've had to set boundaries and say, wow, I really can't actually help you with that, and I'm sorry that you're upset, but like, if I've engaged in a healthy way with people, those people will become loyal and they will sing my praises forever, and that's crucial. So just know, like, wherever you are with the homework, it doesn't matter. Like, every single second is a new beginning to like go in there, get your target market, get refocused on your sales goal, get connected with each other, and start selling stuff. So I would really suggest, and then I'm off my soapbox, but what's your sales goal that you created, and how close are you to it? And just know that social media is one of those pieces that fits in there as a way to get that done. But you do not want to lose the connection with your goal. That's key. And you do not want to lose the motivation to be connected to your goal. Okay, next few things. So, we're going to start with some sales goal stuff, because what I'm really realizing is that some of the foundational stuff are things that people don't know, and then it explains a lot about the results you get. So this is what we're going to do. Some of you may know it, and if people tell me this stuff, it is always helpful, because I can't quite see things the way that other people see things. So you've got your sales goal. Say, for instance, I'm going to use that your sales goal is $10,000 a month. So your 3-month sales goal is $30,000 while you're in the class. So how do we figure out what packages, what pricing, and how to get this stuff sold to your target market? First of all, what we need to do is back into it. So if you've got $30,000, what we need to do is figure out, and I'm going to start with 3 different levels of this. And if I use coaching words, it doesn't mean it's not product. If I use product words, it doesn't mean it's not coaching. I just want to be really clear that this is really important. All of these philosophies work with all of these things. So the examples I may use may slide towards product, or they may slide towards coaching. It doesn't mean anything except that I had to pick a noun. So I have people in both arenas who've sold a slew of stuff. I have a lot of people who do both things, product and service, and I would even encourage you as we go along tonight that you may want to think about adding some of those things. So basically, most of us have an idea in mind of this is what I sell. These are the products, these are the services. So if I need to make $30,000 and they all cost $30 a piece, then I need to sell, is that 1,000? I'm bad at math. 1,000 different pieces. Okay, that's one way to look at it. But what we're really looking at in this class is catapulting your sales to a whole new level. So I'm going to throw some stuff in there that's going to be really challenging, and it is the stuff that I see really transform people's businesses. So take your mind and go, okay, everything I've known, and put it over there. Here's the new stuff. And some of these things will stick for you, and some of them won't. But this is really important content. You want to think of something inexpensive to sell, an entry-level product that can test. I heard a speaker once say, I just need to know that they can get their credit card out of their pocket and pay me. And so I provide an inexpensive product just to see if they're going to do that, because there are plenty of people, God bless all of them, who will just sign up for free content and they're not going to be interested in anything else. And the other piece that I really want to throw in here is that loads of times I see people go through this process, and next week we're going to be talking specifically about launch strategy. And the deal is, because they haven't looked at this process carefully, I don't care what kind of launch strategy you come up with, it fails. Another area, and I know I'm starting with all the things not to do, but this is important. There's another speaker who says, it's like you're building the airplane while you're flying it. And that's the deal also. If you've spent 6 months testing, figuring out, getting graphics, your $1 million product or whatever, and you haven't had a lot of interaction with your target market about it, I promise you that you're hiding, even if you don't think you are. Because if you give somebody who's hungry, the ability to go out and sell this piece of paper, they're not going to spend 6 months figuring out how to sell a piece of paper. They're going to go out and they're going to get it done. So God bless us all for our hiding, but you do not need to have a new website. I've sold so much for people without websites, without sales pages, all of those things, hiding. So here's the deal. Have an inexpensive product that allows people to get a leg in. So say your cheapest product is $1,000. You do a coaching package for that. Well, I would challenge you to start to do your list of the 10 best blah blah blahs. So if you're Sherry, you do coaching and you teach people how to get more time and more money and more life. And I'm completely paraphrasing. But if you could show me for $29 the 10 best ways to get more time in my day, I would buy it right now. No problem. So you want to start thinking about offering those sorts of things. Then additionally, what you want to do is you want to offer something that's really expensive. Mainly because this is an exercise that will blow your freaking mind. It will challenge any wealth mindset stuff that you have. And here's the deal. I'm not saying take this piece of paper and sell it for $10,000. No one in their right mind, especially because I've got my fiance stuff stapled onto it, is going to buy my stuff? It's like my notes for class for $10,000 that wouldn't make sense to anyone. But if I take my notes for class for $10,000 and then I say, okay, and you can have access to me for one email a day every day, or I'll write your posts all year. Every single day, I'll write a post for you that will make you money. That's a $10,000 product. So, for instance, Rachel sells jewelry. I would not say, Rachel, take one of your products right now and say it's a $5,000 thing. However, you could absolutely create something where you say to people who are in the entertainment industry, do you need jewelry designs for your new show? I'll do all brand new exclusive jewelry designs for your show. It can be like 1900s Western, it can be futuristic, it can be whatever. And they do not need to be things that are like you've spent 28 years and you've got the prototypes for them. But what we're talking about here is even I can feel it in my body. It makes you uncomfortable enough that it can absolutely make that sales goal. So I would even challenge each of you, like look at what your sales goal is for the 90 days. What is the easiest, fastest way for you to make that money? It's probably not by selling 5 million of anything. That's really time intensive if you have to mail it out. There's costs for that. There's costs for labor. There's cost the customer service. And so, I've had people who've been in product before and they've had like a pillow that creates, you don't get wrinkles. I know that they know 28 ways that you do get wrinkles. So if you want to sell me a 28-way teleclass that I can avoid wrinkles, I will also buy that. And part of it is just about getting these juices flowing and getting the money coming in. I will, and this is going to be a hard one, but I am committed to your success if you do not have income that's coming in. Or if you've been in business for a while and you do not have the income coming in that you know that you are capable of. If it's lagging behind, you are hiding. And hiding from money, it's like this very nice idea. It's like before I fell in love, and I'm getting married in a month, I was sure it was the 20 pounds that I was carrying around that meant that I could not be loved. I gained 20 additional pounds after I fell in love. I'm getting married with those 20 pounds on me at this point. Somebody loves me a lot. It had nothing to do with those 20 pounds. So if money is not coming to you, you are hiding from money. And we are going to get you through that. And the easiest way, if that's you, is to create a freaking huge product or service. And I hate this. Okay, I hate when coaches will say, and people will say this all the time, like, if your mother were dying, would you come up with the $5,000 to be in my coaching program? I don't like that. But here's the deal. If your mother were dying, would you come up with a way to make $5,000? Yes. Come up with that way now. Because if you don't allow yourself to have that kind of business now, like 2 years from now, it's going to be time to have that kind of business. And just expanding your mind in that way. The deal is, please know, we're not talking about anyone that has to buy this. But the perception of value that you will have if on your website there is a $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. I mean, you can be like their stylist. They can call you. You can plan their outfit 3 days a week. I mean, make it appropriate. Do not make it like you are working your rear end off for that money. And also don't make it crazy. Like one phone call. I'm not going to pay $10,000 for one phone call with anyone, honestly. And that's me. And I'm worse at buying than a lot of people are, I think, because of my sales stuff. Or some block I have in me. But, okay, I think that this is clear. So once you've got an inexpensive product and once you've got a really expensive product, the deal is that the psychology of folks is when they look at things, we need to be able to say no. So if you offer only one product, I don't get to make a choice. You've taken my right of choice away, and I don't like that. I want to be able to go, oh my gosh, she charges $10,000 for something? Her $39 thing must be priceless. I'm buying that, no problem. Or, oh my gosh, she charges $39, like I would never pay $39. I only pay $397 for things. Oh, she also charges $5,000? I'm going to be smart. I'm going to charge $397. So it's just the psychology of sales that you need to have things at different levels. Now, if you spend the next 6 months coming up with 98 different things at different price points, you've also missed the point here. Obviously, a lot of you have a lot more than three things, but you really need to be stretching it to different degrees so that you can see what will stick. Specifically, how do you get people to tell you what they'll buy? Few things. Remember how you got in touch with your clients and asked them what was great about working with you, what wasn't great, and any suggestions that they would have? This next piece is crucial. If you get people to be verbal and involved in the process of you creating products, they basically have bought it already. If I come up with the name for your program, I'm buying myself if I buy from you. I've already made a personal investment. If you put a post up and you say, I'm thinking of launching a product where people could work in person with me here in the Los Angeles area, what do you all think? You're going to get a slew of responses from people who just want to tell you what to do. God bless them, that's great. It helps it get up higher in your top newsfeed. You'll get a couple of people who will either email you later or they'll say, I'm in LA, I would be interested in that. Those people are the people that you want to be in touch with next, and you want to do what's called an informational interview. And this is offline. You want to call them up and you want to ask them questions. So what do you think the benefits of me doing it in LA would be? Do you know other people in LA who would be interested? Oh, that's awesome. They're on Facebook? Great, I'll friend them. What would be, why did you think it was a good idea? You want to ask them really open-ended questions. And sometimes people are going to say things like, well, I just thought it would be good to work with you. And they just happen to live in LA. So that's not enough of a reason to necessarily plan a program. But the other piece of this that's really key about what you're doing here is you're getting people's agreement. A purchase is not when I hand you my credit card. That has so little to do with anything. A purchase has to do with everything that's going on in my mind as you're telling me about what you're doing, and I'm getting on board and I'm thinking about, well, I could spend the money from here and I could spend the money from there. And so if you're confrontational with something, if you're like, buy this, people don't like that. And also that's not a launch, which is something that we'll go over much more next week. But if you start to do, Lisa Sasevich calls it seeding, and I love that. So it's like you're planting little seeds. And the deal is that most entrepreneurs skip over the part where they seed anything. So you will put up posts that will say things like, I've decided to do, like Rachel Abrams, what if you put up something, you're starting your new jewelry jubilee parties. A fabulous way to seed that is, what if you put up a post and said, look at this sweet new bracelet that someone designed from my jewelry jubilee class. And it can be like a bracelet that a 5-year-old would have made. I hope that like the beads on it look like beads that a 5-year-old would have picked out. Like even you could say, I think this is so cute, I'm thinking of adding it to my line. And it can be your really inexpensively priced thing. Deal is, doesn't even matter if anyone buys that, but they've been introduced to the idea of jewelry jubilee. It hasn't been forced down their throats. It doesn't have a $500 or $600 price tag on it. It's just this cute little bracelet that they're in love with. Anytime they run into anyone who's having a party for a 5 or a 6-year-old, they're going to go, oh my gosh, Rachel Abrams had the cutest little bracelet. It was so sweet. That's seeding. So if you haven't figured out what you're going to offer, if you don't already have product, or if you're worried or wondering, it's interesting that word came out of my mouth today. I'm complicated today. What am I worried about? My wedding. No, I don't know. If you're putting together a program, and here's another great thing to do, to be transparent. If you've already got a program and it's not selling, ask people why. What do you have to lose? Here's the thing, like the goal is what you're going after. Is it more important to have an appearance of having it all together than to reach your goal? I hope not. So what if you throw something up there and say, wow, this package that I put together is not selling at all. What do you all think? Now, here's the key thing to know about this, because it just sounds like, okay, it's a dog with its belly up, like showing the other dogs its belly, and then like, what do you get out of that? There are a multitude of things that you get out of it. First of all, anyone who goes in there and takes the time to give you their opinion about what might be shifted about it, how many people does it take responding to that post for you to make money? If it's a $1,200 coaching program and 2 people say, Well, if you offered it virtually, I would have done it. Or if you offered a 3-pay option on it, I would have done it. Do you see the value of that? So I would suggest specifically, and let me be very specific about the kinds of posts that you want to do in terms of things like this. Here are great seeding posts. I'm thinking of doing a 3-pay offer for my new coaching program. Now, make people's mouths water. Do not give them the whole kit and caboodle. Do not say it's a $9 million program, you get 80 of this, you get 90 of this, here's the link. That doesn't interest people. That doesn't warm them up. What warms people up are things like, do you remember when the iPhone had the 4th generation come out and it was found in a bar? Do you think that was an accident? I doubt it. And if it was like, iPhone must really be intended to succeed. Because you start to give people enough that they can start to want it. It's like when you walk past a restaurant and you can smell the restaurant, that's the kind of post that we want for you all. We don't even want them in the restaurant ordering it yet. We just want to activate the part of people who want to be involved with it. The part of people who think, wow, maybe that would be interesting. And we want to get their input. It's the same idea, and please know that this is totally different than if you've done business before, because it wasn't a social media world. And you couldn't get people saying left and right, yeah, I would take that, or yeah, I would take it if you do this, or yeah, I'd take it. I mean, throw up there your logo, throw up your sales page. Be really bold and be like, here's my sales page for this new thing. What do you think? Now, here's the deal. Some people are going to hate it. And that's okay. Not your target market. You're not losing customers from the people who are going to hate it. Particularly because I doubt that any of you are really trying to attract people who are the kind of people who will say on a Facebook page, I hate it. Not happening. And even if you get those kinds of people who give you a lot of instruction and are not buyers for you, the deal is they feel like you need them. They're going to be commenting on your page all the time. If they really authentically know that much, then they've got a lot of people who are their friends and followers who will be watching, and they will become your friends also. So give me a little feedback. Let me know if all of this is making sense, because I know it's a really new way of thinking about things. But these are the kinds of things that you do. It's like I said to someone recently, I said, it's like if I'd decided to have a relationship and I'd written it all down on paper and thought that that was having a relationship and thought that it would go the way that it was written on paper. If I'd written my relationship on paper, I would have missed so many important parts, because it's not just me. It's not me having a relationship. I'm involved with someone else. It's a living, breathing thing. It's the same thing with you and your clients. And here's what's also key. That simply by opening up, by simply being vulnerable, by simply being someone that they can interact with, that makes people love you and they will buy from you. I would say, in actuality, unless you're like buying electronics or a car or something that you can go to consumerreports.com and check on, the process of purchasing is so freaking emotional, it's not even funny. It's made so much up. I used to say it was 50% personality, but I would say it's even stronger than that. There are 98 people that I could buy programs from about how to get in shape before my wedding. And I bought some recently. And some of them, it's the same freaking content as other people. And some of them I just feel like, oh, this person, like, they're my friend. This is nice. I can listen to them on videos. I don't even necessarily apply what they're talking about. But, like, would I buy from them again? Probably. I've just enjoyed the experience. Your process of purchasing this piece of paper from me is really not about this piece of paper. It's just a means to deliver everything else that's coming from within you. So like if we look at Susan's jewelry, and Susan, I will leave it up to you to, I would put a post in the forum and talk about the story behind your jewelry in a heartbeat, because I think it's going to enamor so much support, it's unbelievable. And then I'm not just buying jewelry. I mean, particularly in this kind of economy, people are not just buying recklessly without thinking. If they feel connected to folks, then they're going to buy. So, You really want to get in conversation with your target market. And here's another thing for you to know too. If you put a post up that says, what do you think I should sell? It's not going to work. You have to bring to the table. It's like if you walked into a relationship and you were like, who do you want me to be? That doesn't work. That's not real relationship. It's like, this is who you are, this is what you have to offer, and here's some places that you're flexible enough to allow input. It's key. And then what you really have to do is I'm just thinking about to acting school is why I'm laughing. It's like you really have to listen. Like, I wasn't going to teach this class again. I had taught it once, I was done. I was going to make it into a product and be over. And then 5 people had asked me to take the class. I hadn't even put anything up for it yet. And I was not going to do the class. And I was sitting there masterminding, okay, so what's the next thing that I'm going to be doing? I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Woke up in the middle of the night one night and was like, 5 people have asked me to buy that class. That's what people are wanting from me. Why am I not delivering that? So it's really, really crucial. You need to be driving the car. It's not about like, I'll do anything you want. You know, I'm going to stop making bracelets. I'm going to make Cheerios instead because somebody said it. That's not what we're talking about here. But you need to have a relationship with your target market to get their input so that you can deliver what they're asking for. Another thing to know is this. When you use launch strategy, which we'll talk about next week, when you do things like seeding, it is not without thought. At first, I want you to be in the practice of being in touch with your target market and listening to them. Honestly, it's like even with a big corporation, if I reel off something on a blog post and just tell them how I feel about something, I'll go make the purchase even if they haven't necessarily heard from me. I just feel like I got to say my piece. So much of sales is human psychology. But once you've engaged with them and started talking to them and offering them different options and offering like, what do they think about this and that sort of post, then what we're going to do is from that, we're going to make an idea about what it is you're going to be selling, and then we're going to start seeding it very carefully. Freaking A. If I haven't scared you enough already tonight, I'm jumping to the homework a little bit because this will scare all of you. But in a good way. This is a really good thing. This is an awesome assignment. And I was listening to last time I did it, and I said, some of you won't do it, and I'm not going there. I really challenge all of you to do it. Here's the wisest, best thing I know about making money at the moment. My clients who are doing web shows are making a slew of it. Teleseminars. And I'm not talking just about people who have coaching programs. I'm also talking about product. People really want to connect with other people. Video feels really intimate. You all, probably all, except the ones who were referred to me, bought my class because you saw me online in video. And so your assignment for this week is to schedule a Ustream show for yourself. Now, if you don't want sales, if you don't want to make money, and if you want to befriend the hiding part of you and comfort it and hide out in a dark room with it, then don't. Skip the homework. But I have clients who are making $15,000 in an hour with no sales page on video shows. And I'm going to walk you through steps. It's not like Lindsay says, go make a video show, and then you don't know what to do. I will post the stuff so that you understand technically how to do it. I will tell you the key things. Here's some important things to know about it. First of all, you want to plan it about 2 weeks in advance, because you are still building your target market, and you're going to need to get more and more people, and you're going to need to be inviting those folks. You want to do it on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Other days of the week, people are either too overwhelmed with their own business or too excited about the weekend. So for a first show, those are good times. 5 o'clock Eastern is awesome. Sorry, Western, which they also call Pacific, which translates to 8 o'clock Eastern in the evening is good because you can get both coasts. I've also seen a trend of people doing around 1 o'clock. So if you've got people who are not working, think about doing it during that time also. This week, while you're talking to your target market and figuring out what it is they're liking and they're wanting to purchase and getting your finger on the pulse of that, that's what you're going to be releasing during the Ustream show. It's not just going to be like, here's my paper. Paper's made from trees. I like paper. Thank you so much. There will be a complete strategy for you that I use. I've not given it out before. People are hiring me to do web shows for them for $5,000. So you're going to get a lot of really good stuff. And you are going to want to create a Facebook event. I will give you a code so you can invite all of your friends in one fell swoop so you don't have to sit there and click all day. Here's some other key things to know. You want a witty title for your Facebook event. I do not look at Facebook event invites. Anyone who's busy does not look at them. So it's not about creating a Facebook event and being done. You need to post it in the forum, you need to ask people, and you can make your own, throw it in there with this week's post. This is when my event is. Can you please put it on your wall? You need to reach out to the 10 people you know who have the most social media connection and impact. And you want to say to them, could you post this one day this week with something nice about me? I'll do the same for you. You want to call people. You need to make sure that your friends are there because you're going to need support. It's a little bit scary. It's not awful. We can hide the number of viewers so no one will know that. It gets taped. You've got it so you can give the replay to people. I see the question is, can we tape or is it live? It needs to be live. Because what happens also is in the chat, people are letting you know how they're feeling and how they're responding to things. This is not about video. I'm not talking about like shooting a 3-minute video, which is also a great idea, but I'm talking about I sit here and chat with you all. I'm telling you about my class. And people in the chat can go, well, but I don't understand. Is this an online class or not? If it's not a live show, I can't answer that. And also, if it's not a live show, there's no chat component. And you don't get the benefit of people will start to say, I'm in. And someone else who's thought they had really smart comments the whole show go, wow, I should take a look at that too. People start to form community in the chat function of video shows, which is really important when you're looking at sales. Really important. It's the same thing as they say it's much easier to sell in a live event to a group of people than it is to like do a teleclass. Because you've got a group of people together and you get to see people rushing to the back table to sign up for the thing. And I will give you directions. It is not hard. You will want to have a friend who is available who can moderate. What that means is the show is open to the public and there's always going to be somebody on Ustream who goes, woohoo, take your shirt off or something awful, and you'll want to be able to bounce those people. You also want the person who's helping you, and ask your mastermind partner. You want them to drop the sales link so people can purchase from you. You want them to drop their Facebook pages so people can come say things to you. You want to keep track of the people who look like they're interested in purchasing. And you can, we will create specific structure around it about what it is that you're selling. I will, and I don't mean script, like my script is not here, like ask for input posts is something I wrote on here, which I talked about earlier, but I never said that phrase. So I'm not talking about scripting like that, but we will script in terms of there's a process that people need to go through with you in order to purchase from you. You want to start the class out by being human. And I don't care if that's you're totally frazzled because it's your first show and you're freaking out. Do you know how people will respond to you in the chat? They will love you and they will stay tuned. If you look like you've got your act together and you're like totally with it and stuff, the chances of losing viewers is much higher. Video, and here's the thing. If you're watching this show 2 years from now, I don't mean video anymore. We're just talking about the most current tool that other people are afraid of using, that people are buying a lot from. And video shows is what works. What are other key things I want to let you know? Put a picture of yourself in your Ustream profile. And I see some folks are still here as guests and they are not signed in. And I think I may start requiring that you all sign in. So if you've not been able to sign in and create an account, email me at support@socialmediaheaven.com. Because we're not going to, I think, do guests anymore. I want to know who's here and who's with me. And put a picture in there, because then if Ustream doesn't have other stuff going on, you can sometimes be featured on the front page of Ustream, which is fabulous with your show. And here's the other thing. Leave expectation behind. I'm going to give you a plan so that you have every chance of success. I have definitively done things before where people haven't shown up. It's been good practice. The other thing I would almost, if I could make it a requirement, I would, is do one just trying it on your own. I'll put the link up for how you do it. It is not hard. But practice once, because you need to know how it feels. And you need to know that you need to be looking at the camera. And you need to be able to see whether having the chat function is too distracting, which for most people it will be the first time out. But it's just about getting that comfort level the first time. But bottom line, people are buying from video shows. People are buying a lot from video shows. If you cannot stand yourself on video, here are two other options. Find someone, get them to do the show for you. I really actually mean that. Not like a sales superstar model who looks gorgeous and is going to be plastic. That is not what people are looking for. People are looking for a heartfelt connection in this day and age. So find, if you've got a kid, that's awesome. If you've got a 16-year-old who's going to sing your praises about your bed linens, rock on. We'll give that kid the script. Kid will do awesome. The kid gets to say that you were too afraid to come on the show, because we need to endear people to you. People really want you. Here's the thing, is that it doesn't work to hide anymore. And I will tell you that the reason that your business is probably not where you want it to be today is because on some level you're hiding. And it can even be like, you can be hidden and be like the biggest extrovert in the world. You can hide behind that. So the shows are an hour. And I would say don't even throw your Facebook event up there yet. Just figure out when you're going to do it. And the background is you've got to get your target market numbers up, because it does not matter at all if you put up an invite and if you're doing the things I'm recommending, you're going to have people come. I get that that's mainly the fear that people have. I'm going to try it and no one's going to watch. And that's not even the point, because you will have gone through that. But if you are continually upping your target market numbers and you're doing it right, it's a great way to gauge whether it's sticking or not. Because it's the first way that you're getting people to raise their hand and go, yes, I am your target market. Yes, I do want to know how I can write a book. I do want to know how I can have more joy in my life. I do want to know what I can do about my skincare. I do want to know about bookkeeping. I'm overwhelmed. So take your 3-word passion and make it into 5 words at the most, and that's going to be the title for your Facebook event. And that's going to be the title that you send out to your list if you have a list. And if you don't have a list yet, that's okay also. When you put your Facebook event up, in your Facebook event, say, to find out how to get on the show, to find out the access, email me at blah, blah, blah. And then you'll get all of those email addresses and you've started your list. Don't put the access information in the Facebook event. So your 5-word, like if your passion is creating beauty every day, which was Susan's, then, I mean, Susan has such a I'm just going to go for it for a second because this is the level that we all need to be operating on. This is what's, okay, I just want you to think for a moment about what you know about Susan, and she has jewelry. Yes, we all know that. Beautiful jewelry. First of all, I didn't realize she makes every single piece. I didn't realize how precise she was about the way that she makes it. And I didn't realize that you can customize everything. No idea. Now, I've looked briefly at stuff, but there are a lot of things, and this is with your mastermind partners, what you need to be talking about. You need to be looking at each other's stuff and saying, this is the impression I get from your site or from your posts. You need to tell each other the truth. So the deal is, Susan had cancer and has a little girl and decided that she missed so much of her little girl's life that she wants to create this jewelry company where other single mothers who are oftentimes making minimum wage or can't spend time with their kids will come to her home, build this jewelry together, be able to spend time with her children, and Susan will be able to watch her daughter grow up. Like, I completely have chills. So A, don't you want to know about that in her Facebook posts? Don't you want to buy her jewelry then? Does that have anything to do with jewelry? Abso-freaking-lutely not. But can you feel that in your body? And that's where people purchase from. So Susan, for your creating beauty every day, your creating beauty every day is also about being with your daughter. It's also about starting a movement. It's also about so many other things. So I would even I would deepen your passion. These are things we want to revisit consistently during the course. Think of whatever your passion was at the beginning and go deeper. I want you this week to think about your 3-word passion from the first night of class. Send that to your mastermind partner. If you don't have a mastermind partner, just throw it up in the forum under the week's events. I'll get involved and I'll help you figure this out. And then I want you to tell me the truth about your business. And that can be whatever you construe that sentence to mean. But with that, we can put a 5-word title together and a show together and a movement together to get your stuff sold that will totally transform your business. If I haven't made it clear, it's just in this day and age, that's what people want. And if you didn't watch the Michael Drew show that I did in my web series a while ago, you need to do that. And you can email events@socialmediaheaven.com and I'll send you the replay link. Exhale. So, we have 1 minute left. One last thing that I'll mention is a lot of times people will absolutely have the right content, they'll absolutely have the right pricing, and they won't have the right way to package something. They'll be like, everybody has to get on a plane to Timbuktu to take advantage of this offer, and that's where they lose it, and they don't understand that that's the problem. So this week, when you're talking to people on your Facebook page, like, what do you have to lose? What do any of us, honestly, what do any of us have to lose? I'll throw up some posts that'll be, I'm going to do it just for you all. Like, I'd rather focus on the wedding. I'm going to throw up posts this week that are going to, like, rock your socks off. Be like, this package of mine is this much money. What do you think? Like, that's so exposing. I feel like, oh my God, I get it. So I'll do the homework right along with you. And some people are going to tell me it costs too much, and some people are going to tell me it costs too little, and I'm going to come up with 5 new people out of the responses to that are my target market. It is not actually sometimes even about their answer. The people who say it's priced too low, why am I not going to be in touch with them and see if they want to buy it while it's priced that way? And if I get the added information that, like, they would have loved it, but they would have loved it as an in-person event. Don't I want to know that? Don't I want to know I can make more money that way? Abso-freaking-lutely. So I will say to you that the 3 reasons that I think things often don't sell are either because it's the wrong content or it's not resonating with the people who need you. So if I create something about, like, the spirituality of social media and tried to sell it to you all, probably would not be what you wanted. Sales resonated with you. That's why we're here together. Maybe it would, the spirituality, but I'm just talking about that. Second thing, pricing is generally off. And it's generally that people are pricing way too high or way too low. And so that's why I suggest the 3 different things. Put a post that says, what do you think I should sell for $400? People will tell you. People will tell you. And then the last thing is the package. And sometimes this is where we get inflexible. We think I'm going to spend all this money on a beautiful website, and then they have to buy it in an ebook. And nobody wants ebooks anymore. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but I haven't bought very many ebooks lately. So ask about those 3 parts of your business this week. At least 3 posts that genuinely ask for people's input. And know this also, that nobody gets to like unbuy from you. If somebody says, you have gross pricing, oh my gosh, you should not even be on Facebook. Get out of here. Like the nightmare that all of us have. I had somebody once who said, it's my sister. Every time I go down to write, my sister's going to tell me I'm not smart. Your sister's not even looking at your Facebook stuff, and it's not even real. Like, that's a reality that's not true. So the deal is, you write these things, you post them, and you're going to start to get traction. You're going to start to get people who are just attracted to you being that authentic. And authenticity is seriously, it's so funny, I forgot the same word the last time I taught the class. It's the social currency of what's cooking. I promise you all that part of the reason that you are here is because I'll do things like tell you that the roots of my hair are too dark, that I didn't put on a suit jacket, that I forgot to do the call-in thing, that, you know, or that my father's dead, or that my wedding's stressing me out, or that I'm moved by Susan's thing and it is giving me goosebumps again. I promise you that that's part of what got you here. And that's the same thing that's going to get your clients to you. So you're going to need support this week, and you're going to need more support as this goes on. And it's not even just about the support. We all need a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth. We need eyes on our business. So choose wisely. Choose wisely when you choose a mastermind partner in the class. Figure out a half hour every week at minimum that you can talk to them if you can do that. Throw things up in the forum. It is such a big resource you don't even know. Before you put a post on your wall, go, okay, I'm scared to death to ask people about the pricing of this because I'm not going to pay my mortgage this month if I don't price it this way. What do you think? And somebody's going to tell you, you didn't price it high enough. People aren't buying it because it's too darn cheap. It's going to change your business. So, this is the week when we stop hiding. This is like the best gift that I can give you. Susan, can we start a discussion on Ning? Here's the deal, Susan. No, you can't actually start a discussion, but there's a week 3 thing, and you can start any kind of anything you want under there. Because if I give the ability for everyone to just start discussions on our Ning class site, then what happens is people will start things about like purified water systems, and no one can find where the week 3 assignments are. So it's simply for organizational. But yes, throw up there, ask for anything. Just go to the week that we're on and start posting. And it will thread, and people can post right in there with you. And if you get too many emails from Ning, go into your profile, click it so it doesn't send you an email every time, and you can opt to do it that way also. So, Thursday night is a Q&A. I think I'll go over Twitter, but the deal is like, get what you need. What is your goal? Why did you come to the class? And bring those questions with you. I am here to help you and figure out, like, if you're like, I'm too scared to post any of this on my wall, and I don't know if I've done the pricing right, bring that to the class and I will tell you to the best of my ability. So, yay! This is the hard class for me to teach because I feel like it's tough love, but I think that you guys are okay. This is the place where your business is going to rock. And seriously, like, put an ad up on Craigslist. Ask somebody to do the show for you. Ask your mastermind partner to do the show for you. That's okay too, but do not completely skip out on this. Because I promise you, if you are the person who is thinking, yeah, but that's never going to sell my products, that's the problem. And that's where you're hiding, and you are seriously wrong. And I double dog dare you, because I bet I could sell $10,000 worth of your stuff in an hour without you even there on a video show. I just know it's true. Yes, you can bring someone onto Ustream with you. They're going to sit beside you in a chair. Nope, virtually you can't. You can if you do a co-producing thing, but it's really ugly. So, I mean, if you want to use vocal, go for it. That's fine also. But I want to start easy with people. The point is to sell. The point is not how that happens. The point is, if you and I think this is gross and I'm going there again, if you told me that my mother's life depended on me making $5,000 from selling this, like these 2 sheets of paper, plus those other sheets for $10,000 in the next hour, you better freaking believe I would do it. I would do it, and you would try to do it too. So that's what we need to do. You need to, like, it's not about thinking about how do I make the first step to get up the mountain. It's about how do you like freaking fly over that mountain. And then what's going to happen is whatever happens, you're going to have made so much more money than you ever thought of in the first place, and you're going to start to realize that this kind of mentality is the easiest, best, fastest way to rock your business. If you sell one $10,000 anything tonight, isn't that much easier than just every day trying to sell the same thing you've been trying to sell and sweating it out and freaking out, and it's not worth it. So it's 7 minutes after Lindsay is done, and I'll put the recording up as I always do, and I'll put up the assignments, and I'll send you the stuff for the Q&A tomorrow. And I hope that you're afraid. I hope that you're a little scared. I hope there's something that's uncomfortable in the class tonight. And talk about it. Talk about it on Facebook. There's nothing you could do that would be better for my business than if you went on somebody else's page from this class tonight and you were like, I am totally freaked out from that assignment. I think Lindsay is nuts. And if you say something mean about me, I'm going to maybe take issue with it. But if you just say it's scary and it's awful and you're freaked out and you don't understand why, I'm down with that. So anyway, that's it. That's all I got. Have a good 2 days until we have our Q&A, and talk to each other in the forum. You all are each other. The amount of money, if I had to put a price on the resource that you all are for each other, if we looked, here's the deal, bottom line, if we looked at each of you and looked at the things you have personally overcome in your lives and pulled all of that together, do you know that there is nothing we can't do? Do you know that? So just start bringing that part of you to social media. The world needs you. The world needs that part of you. No more hiding. No more hiding. Doesn't serve you, doesn't serve the people you need. It's not the point of being here. You didn't pay $495 for this class to hide. So, rock on. And I'll see you next week. Okay? Thanks, everyone.